What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. We're here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course, and this is not something I normally do, so we'll see if it sticks. This is my post-tournament. Just gonna play the front nine here. I have 3 discs. These are my 3 Ps. So, post-tournament prep, maybe? I don't know. It's the P2, the Peach, and the Pyro. So I've got these 3 discs, and I'll play the front 9 here and just kind of talk about what happened, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's see what happens. That's pretty parked. It's a toss of forehand too, and see how that feels. Pretty good. Just to kind of put this into perspective, it is the 13th. No, it's not Friday, it's a Wednesday. And the tournament I played was the 9th and 10th. So I don't know what date this is coming out, but that's kind of how far ahead my videos have been recently, which is super awesome. However, my disc golf, the videos are on par. The disc golf has not been on par. Well, at least we started to make some putts finally again. The first round was at Champs course, and it being a super long course, and there's actually a creek and OB lines and OB strokes to be had, and that course used to be my home course for a very long time. And then I guess I started playing there enough that all the good luck ran out for me for like important rounds. And in the very first round, I had 4 shots that went into the creek. Yeah, I wasn't playing bad. I shot 8 over. Which 4 over at that course would be fabulous. But for me to have 4 OB strokes, that hurts. First round, all in all though, my putt wasn't terrible. It was like 60-something% C1X, which honestly, for me, for the start of a tournament, having anything over 50% is pretty decent for the first round. Now the second round started to get hot. We went over to the OG course, actually started making putts. I still was missing a lot of them, which was surprising to me because I was giving myself so many birdie chances. I just couldn't make 20-foot putts for some reason, but at least I was hitting metal. I was keeping it close, making pars when I could, actually making a putt or 2 here and there, and getting some strokes. I finished 1 down after I finished 1 down for round 2, putting me at +7 for the tournament. That's already better putting than I had for round 2 or 3. I'm at 3 or 4. Now before the tournament, the entire night before, it had been just an absolute downpour. And it started to taper off about the time check-in was starting, but it was still kind of off and on spritzing up until about hole 12 for round 1. So for round 2, I was still trying to dry some discs off and, fling my towels in the air a little bit to help them dry out. It's hard having that many tournament rounds that close back to back to back. was almost like the weather had a difficulty meter. It had to be at X number, so you know, if there's no wind, there's a whole bunch of rain, but as the rain goes away, the wind picks up. And that's what happened through the course of the 4 rounds. Realistically speaking, after round 1, none of us were really in it anymore. The person in front was 8 strokes in front. So, I mean, there was only so much catching up we could do. And she was playing hot and was putting and making almost every putt. I guess the stress from like work in the tournament is making me juice these shots, because normally I can barely get basket high with a method, and I just blaze past it with a P2. 2-speed, 5-speed. I'm surprising myself recently. Now, believe it or not, throwing better and cleaner actually bit me in the butt a couple of times during the tournament, because holes that I was like, okay, method, perfect shot, throw it, it'll fade just the right time. I was pushing past the corner and ending up just straight long because the method wouldn't fade enough. So, good news and bad news there. I'm throwing further, but now I have to throw putters when I used to throw mid-ranges. Or, just throw softer. Maybe that's the tip. I wanted to beat that one in anyways. Picking up on to round 3. Round 3 was back at Champs. And the longs at Champs it is very long and very technical. It's woodsy. It's landing point dependent. So you have to pick where you land. Otherwise, you don't really have a place where you can scramble. There's only a couple holes that are forgiving. And thankfully I didn't shoot nearly as poor as the last day, because I only had like 1 OB stroke because tree kicked me in the water. But other than that, I stayed much cleaner. I think I took a 4. Oh, that's not gonna turn. Not gonna hold it. Well, it looks like I'm gonna take a bogey here. But honestly, just like a single bogey in the middle of a woody round of disc golf isn't super, like, that happens to everybody. Everybody gets a bogey. What happens after you take the bogey? Oh, yep. Still a bogey. I thought I could make it from here. But what changes between my first round at Champs and my second round at Champs was I didn't let the mistakes mount up. I didn't let it get into my head and mess up the next shot nearly as much. So the likelihood of me taking double, triple bogey much lower, and likelihood of me making a birdie afterwards also higher. So round 2, shot pretty decent. Round 3, score-wise to par, not as good. Rating-wise, definitely scored better. So for the first 3 rounds, I consistently improved my round rating. Oh, that's so fun. But, you know, something else that I didn't notice was just because I've been working on my backhand form, yes, my backhand's going to be getting better, but what I didn't think about was all of this playing that I'm doing and filming and producing and constantly throwing discs. My forehand is also going further. So holes that when I was first starting out, I was throwing fairway or even distance driver and ending up short. And then a couple years ago, I switched to throwing fairway to mid-range. Today, or last weekend, I was throwing a stabilizer on a forehand. That's a 3-speed. That's my approach disc. But if I just popped it hard, it would get all the way there for me. So there's good news and there's bad news to improving your form, because the last round did not turn out nearly as well as I hoped it would. See, in the tournament round, in the first round, it would have hit a tree and I would have just been dejected. I hit a tree. I stopped a little long, but I'm still inside circle. I'm gonna go up and have fun, try to make a cool putt. And then one this way. It was the right straddle that time, not the left. Round 3, I was throwing much better. Round 4 was not throwing as good, because as I got more tired, I stopped working on the form work and I shifted back into the old form, and so throws were a little bit erratic, so I was kind of spraying it more, meaning I was further from the basket, which, as the weather dried out and the wind picked up, I needed to have a spinnier putt, but my hands were more dry because I couldn't grip onto the D-line plastic of the putters. I ended up just missing so many putts. There were multiple holes where I missed a putt for birdie, I missed a putt for a 2, and I took a 5, a 6, or a 7. So, like, putting changes so much as the weather changes. So I ended up, to finish out the end of the last round, I was putting with a Sky God 4 because I know the feel of it. I lick my fingers, I hold on to it, it comes off my hand clean. So, little right. Yeah, putting is hard sometimes, and I didn't score well because I couldn't putt well, so working on finding a new putter. I guess all this video to say, I ended up taking 2nd place in the FPL out of 6, so I beat out 4 other women. I putted like trash, and I'm looking to find new putters for when the weather is different. I'm still gonna keep the Flex 3 D-Line P2s because when the weather is good, they are so money. They are so laser beam straight, but if it were to dry out or if the rain picks up, I don't know what the conditions are, but sometimes the conditions are so that I can't really get a good grip on them. So I need something a little bit tackier. So I really like the Exoplastic from Discmania, the soft and the hard. The soft definitely is the tackiest of those. If you guys have putter recommendations, make sure to comment down below. Looking for P2 that doesn't feel like the dry D-line plastic or the dry chalky DX plastic that you get from Innova or Discmania. It's great most of the time, but sometimes it just doesn't work for me. Comment down below, let me know what I need to try. Oh, fade back, missed that. MOB. I'm just gonna rethrow. Still short, but I need to make a putt. That's why I need putters. Not exactly short. Kind of just parked. All this to say, Sky God 4, an amazing throwing putter, also an amazing putting putter. Make sure to comment down below. Tell me what putters I need to check out. Looking for P2-esque. It's a 2302 or a 01, depending on which plastic it comes in, and something that's not like super soft or super grippy. I want it to have some tack to it, something that's gonna stick to my fingers, or something that's gonna stick onto your fingers similar to the way C-line plastic does. Yeah, if you know what those are, comment down below, and definitely make sure to subscribe. Until next time, see you out on the course.